that? Go. As fast as you can.
I need you to send rescue immediately.
Taking dinosaurs off this island is the worst idea in the history of bad ideas.
Let's get this movable beast underway.
Don't move!
What is it?
One is very angry.
What up, guys? It's your boy D-WIZZLE. Welcome back to the Jurassic Park series. And today we're going to be talking about the Lost World Jurassic Park. We already talked about the first Jurassic Park. If you guys haven't seen that video, I'm going to leave a link in the description so you guys can watch that. Then you guys can come back and watch this. Or if you don't care, you just want to hear our thoughts about Lost World, then please continue to watch on because we have quite a bit to say about this movie. So, as we explained in our Jurassic Park review, we loved the first movie. We thought it was ahead of its time. The special effects were great. The characters were really good. It had a good message about nature, all that stuff. One of Spielberg's best films. So, I didn't even know they were at the time when I first watched the first Jurassic Park. I didn't even know there were sequels out there. Once again, I didn't see Lost World in theaters because I probably was too young to process it when it came out in theaters. So once again, I saw this on TV. It said The Lost World, Jurassic Park, and I'm like, wait, there's a second film? Oh my God, I have to watch it. So yeah, I watched it on television. That wasn't the only time I heard about Lost World, actually. I saw some t-shirts and some posters said The Lost World. I didn't know what that was. I'm like, The Lost World? Oh, I guess it's kind of a variation of a poster or something like that. And then I saw Lost World on television and I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, this is an actual movie. I have to watch it. So yeah, I sat there and watched it. I think I was like 10 or 11 at the time. So yeah, I watched it on television and I was in shock at what I just watched, and not in a good way. I was like, what was this? Like, was that actually what I thought I watched? I watched it a couple more times when it was on TV because it was like playing it every day at the time, and I watched it a few more times and I'm just like, this is not good. this is not a good movie. What happened? Like, Spielberg came back to direct this, which surprised me even more. I'm like, okay, Spielberg's coming back. It should be like the same quality as the first film.
Was he directing this one?
Yeah, he directed this one.
Okay.
Came back to do this one. So I'm like, there's no way this movie could suck. I mean, I'm not expecting this one to be better than the first film, but at least try to be a good movie at the very least. It wasn't. I was very underwhelmed. Like, Shannon, what did you think about The Lost World, Jurassic Park?
I didn't like it. Well, here's the thing though, is that I kind of grew up with family members who were just saying that they weren't really interested in it. We had Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park 3 on DVD and we didn't have The Lost World. So I was kind of like almost trained to not like it until my teen years, and I was just like, you know what, screw it, I want to see it for myself. So I watched it on TV and I got very bored very fast. And I think it was mainly because I wasn't the biggest fan of Ian Malcolm by himself. I think him and Dr. Grant work very well together just because they annoy each other. Mm-hmm. So like it's very entertaining to watch their interactions, and we didn't have that because we didn't have Dr. Grant. So I just feel like it didn't feel like much of a Jurassic Park movie. And then at the same time you introduce like Ian's family that weren't really like his daughter, right?
There's a big inconsistency with the first film.
It's just that, and then like I just don't really. I'm not a big enough fan of Ian to be introduced to his family and to be introduced to these new characters that just never end up showing up in the rest of the franchise. So
Yeah, one of the biggest problems with this movie, you cut the cast from the first movie in half. Not even in half, like you gave us a piece of the
like
first
a cameo,
cast.
yeah.
Yes, and you don't even give us the best parts. It's like, yeah, Grant is not in the movie at all. And the reason why is because they never asked him back. It's not like Sam Neill didn't want to come back. He did want to come back, but he said they never called him back. They never asked him to be in the second film, which was some bull.
Which is a lesson that they learned.
They learned, definitely, because I did rave about how much I enjoyed Malcolm in the first film, but as Shannon said, we're not invested in him enough as a character to have him by himself be the central character in a Jurassic Park movie. He works best when he's working off of other people. Mm-hmm. And not only that, this doesn't feel like the same Malcolm from the first film. This feels like a completely different person. In the first film, Malcolm felt a lot more charismatic, laid back. He had a sense of style. He wasn't as like angsty and serious. He doesn't have the glasses. I guess he didn't want to wear the glasses because he was going to be an action star in this movie.
Yeah.
But it's like his charisma was just sucked out of him in this movie. And so that didn't help the fact that we have to spend so much time with him because he's not as interesting this time around. And going back to the inconsistency with his family, he said that he had
multiple ex-wives
and 3 kids, not 1 kid. Now, I don't care if the daughter is black. I don't care. It's like it doesn't matter. But you're telling me she's the only child of Malcolm. Like, did they even pay attention to any details in the first movie? Like, that's a huge gaping inconsistency. It's not a plot hole, it's inconsistency. It's like this movie it doesn't feel like a direct sequel to the first film. It feels like something completely different in the same universe as the first film. It feels like an anthology instead of a direct sequel.
Mm-hmm. Played by the same actor.
Played by the same actor. Now, that's not necessarily a bad idea, but you have to stick with the continuity that was established in the first film. They're now establishing this other part of the island called Site B, which they said that's the place.
Isla Sorna.
What's it called again?
Isla Sorna.
Isla Sorna. I don't even care about the name because I call it Site B. But,
I like it.
But yeah, I don't like Site B because like they're telling us like, oh, this is this completely separate island where they created the dinosaurs. When that's not what we were led to believe in the first film. We were led to believe that they created the dinosaurs on Site A, where the park is. Now, there's probably some details that they probably left open in the first film to imply that's not the case. So, okay, sure, fine. You create this separate island. Now, but my problem is Site B is not as interesting to me as the park island, to me. But you enjoy Site B a lot.
I do. I like the whole, the look of it, the abandonment, and I think that we get a better look at it in Jurassic Park 3 than we ever could have in The Lost World. But you get a lot of the abandoned labs, and, but I'll probably talk about that more in 3, just because I think the imagery and everything in 3 was a lot better. What was displayed of what was left of the ruins and everything. But that's why I like Isla Sorna, is mainly because of 3, not necessarily what we saw in The Lost World, though. So.
Okay. Well, yeah. On top of that, so we're stuck with this Elseworld Malcolm and his daughter Kelly. I like Kelly. She was fine. But her relationship with Malcolm, it wasn't that well fleshed out to me, because once again they're introducing new family drama that wasn't really implied in the first movie, and I'm still getting over the fact that you're telling me that this is the only child that you have. And I feel like that's taken away from the other stuff that's happening in the film. Because you also, oh my God, we did say there was some dim-witted stuff in the first film, but it wasn't enough to, take away from the enjoyment. This movie has so much stupid crap happening. It was literally taking me out. Like, what is going on? So, this whole overall plot that you have these other people, I forget the organization. They send these hunters to Site B to capture these dinosaurs so they can create a zoo in America or wherever there is. And first of all, who think that was a great idea? Didn't they know about what happened in the first film? That the dinosaurs broke out and killed people?
Yeah.
Everything's chaos. What makes you think that you can have a zoo in America? Horrible idea.
On Zoo Tycoon, I did that once.
You put dinosaurs in?
Yeah, it didn't work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out very well, did it?
No.
See, when a PC game can establish that that's a bad idea, but the humans are like, no, we could do it.
Let's give
We're
it a
smarter.
shot. Yeah.
No, stupid. And on top of that, there is no reason for Malcolm to go back to the island. But here's the reason. Because his ex-girlfriend, ex-wife,
I think.
whatever,
Yeah.
Dr. Sarah Harding, played by Julianne Moore, is at the island taking pictures and stuff, and he's trying to get her off the island.
Yeah.
But she's all like, no, leave me alone, I can handle myself. I'm like, okay, I know that's your ex-girlfriend and everything, but that was her decision to go there. Let her die. Let her die.
You warned her. Yeah.
I'm like, it's probably, you probably think, oh my God, you're so heartless. Why would you say that? Well, okay, I wouldn't be saying this if I gave more of a crap about her character, because I don't. She's just she's not really even a character to me. She's a caricature. When we talked about the female characters in the first film, we felt like it was a natural, strong female characters that didn't need the help of a man, but they didn't need to stop the movie and address that. She is a caricature, being like, I'm independent, I can do whatever I want, you shouldn't have came to the island, why you care for me, blah, 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 blah. I was kind of annoyed, and when the stuff hit the fan, I could care less about them living or dying. Also, Vince Vaughn's in this movie. Not the comedic Vince Vaughn, more the dramatic actor Vince Vaughn. Now, I'm going to give credit to Vince. When he has some dramatic roles that I think he's really good in. Not Saving Private Ryan. Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah.
Hacksaw Ridge. He was really good in Hacksaw Ridge. So when he's given good dramatic material, he can shine. He can go past the comedic stuff. But this one, he was just dry. And honestly, there wasn't really a quantifiable difference between him and Malcolm. They pretty much have the same personality. Other than the family stuff with Malcolm, they're literally the same character. It's like both dry and angsty and just I don't know. How'd you feel about some of the characters? I've been rambling on a lot. But is there any other characters that stood out to you being like, okay, he was okay, or it's like, oh my God, it's really bad, or it's just like in the middle?
I mean, obviously, I feel like there's a reason why those characters never show up in the rest of the franchise. You know, they didn't show up in Jurassic Park 3, not even for a cameo. You know, I think that there was a huge miss in the characters just because you don't have Dr. Grant. You don't have a character, like, you know, I hate to say it because, you know, I do respect Julianne Moore's character just because she's a very, you know, strong person. She's like, I can handle this. You know, there are photographers who go out and take pictures on battlefields and stuff like that. So, like, I think that she had that same mindset and everything. But there is a point where you just kind of, you need a sense of intelligence, and I feel like Ellie had a lot more of that. I don't think that Julianne Moore's character was so stupid. I just think that, like, Ellie was what you were saying, like, more naturally intelligent, and stronger, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think that Julianne Moore's character was dumb, because she wasn't. But it's like, it felt like her character was going out of her way to make a point that she doesn't need men's help, and she's in like every other scene, she's trying to call out the dumb decisions that the men are doing. Which I don't blame them, because the men were making stupid decisions in this movie, but you didn't need to call us out every 5 seconds. So, yeah, I just not as natural as Laura Dern's character. So, speaking of inconsistencies, the stuff with the raptors and the T-Rex, it wasn't consistent with the first movie, because there's one of the examples, I thought it was cool that they made the raptors really smart in the first film. But now I'm starting to realize that they're making these raptors smart. Are they going to get carried away and make them smarter and smarter to the point that they're unrealistically smart and doing some crazy stuff? Yeah, this was the starting point of the dinosaurs doing stuff that is unrealistic and not consistent with the dinosaurs in the first film. For example, the T-Rex. They established that the T-Rex can't sense people by smell. They only sense people by sight. But in this movie, they're able to sniff people out and find where they are by their scent. What? Where was that established? And then there was a scene where the hunters were using the baby T-Rex as bait. First of all, that is the stupidest decision you could ever do. What is wrong with you? So they try to, and the baby T-Rex was injured, and so they bring them into the van to try to fix them. Okay, I get that was a commendable thing to do, but you're literally baiting yourself. I would have just let the T-Rex stay there, and the mother and the father will come and save them and do that. But no, they have to go out their way and show, no, we care for these animals. Let's fix this T-Rex. And then, of course, the T-Rex comes and finds them. Oh, man. So, but going back to the T-Rexes real quick. So they give the baby T-Rex back to them. Okay, so you're thinking, okay, yeah, they're gonna go leave now since they have the baby. It's not harmed at all. Okay, they're good. But the T-Rex comes back and then pushes the van off the side of a cliff with the people in it, and then they leave. And then they come back to see if they fell. And they eat they eat one of the guys that were trying to pull the van back up in the car, and then they leave. I'm like, a natural dinosaur wouldn't care about that. They would care, okay, if they have the baby, they'll leave and they won't mess with them. But no, they keep coming back to be like, are they dead yet? Are they dead yet? Oh, they're not dead yet. Let's push them back. Yeah. Like, because to give a contrived action set piece, which was also ridiculous. So the van that they were in is hanging off a cliff, and also they established that the glass on the van was
That's not true at all, what you're saying.
Yes, it is. So they established that the glass on the van, the windows, they're like reinforced glass. However, when the van falls off the side of the cliff, the glass is easily able to break. Like when Julianne Moore's character is like fell to the back of the van, it freaking cracks, and it's like whatever movement she did, it will crack more. Inconsistency. And then when the van actually fell over the side of the cliff, somehow they were able to hang off of a rope, and the van will just naturally fall around them when they're hanging off of the cliff.
Yeah.
No. No.
I mean, I'm not an expert in physics, so I'm just gonna, I'll let that slide just because I don't know if that would happen or not.
No, I know. In the first film, you had to suspend your disbelief with how they created the dinosaurs and all that. But the physics, for the most part, was realistic.
Okay.
But this one took some liberties where I'm like, okay, no, you're kind of stretching it a little bit. And then you have a scene where all the hunters are running away from a T-Rex in the forest, and the T-Rex is having a hard time catching up to them. Didn't you establish in the first film that the T-Rex had a hard time keeping up with a Jeep?
Yeah, they like drove away because T-Rexes in real life run, I think, as fast as 13 miles an hour.
Yeah, and they said in the first film that
they clocked
T-Rex at 32 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But this film, the T-Rex had a hard time keeping up with a bunch of humans running in the forest. Running. But the T-Rex is like, I'll get you. Oh, I'll get you. And then they're able to get into a cave in time. No. No.
There's so much of this movie that I just kind of like drained out of my head. So I'm like, oh yeah, that happens. Like,
that
happened. Oh my god.
The Raptors are smart enough to when some of the Raptors are chasing Jeff Goldblum in the building, he walks into this, he goes into this room, he opens the door and closes it and locks the door. But the Raptor is smart to just crash into the window next to it and chase them. That was actually cool. That was very clever. But then you have that amazing scene. That amazing scene with the Raptors. You know what scene I'm talking about. You know that scene I'm talking about. When the Raptor has Malcolm cornered and Kelly, out of nowhere, is hanging off on the top of the building, and he does. Oh, because Kelly is does gymnastics. They established that. So she does gymnastics on some of the support beams on the building. And she literally goes, "Hey, you!" to the Raptor. And the Raptor literally turns and is like, "Wait, what?" Yeah. And then Kelly does a gymnastics kick on the Raptor and freaking falls out the building like, Spielberg. Why? Why did you think that was something you need to put in here? That was so stupid. Why would the Raptor turn around when Kelly says, "Hey, you"? Yes.
The Raptor's smart. No, actually, you know what? Because that happened in Jurassic World. Because remember when he was stuck in the log and he goes, "Blue," and Blue's like, "What?" You know, Blue
what?
Stuck his eye. Yeah.
Now that's another conversation entirely, which we will get to in World. But
I think that's intelligent. I don't know. It's it responds to, hey, it's giving it more personality. I think, more of, it's humanizing them in a sense. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting. But I like how you're like, no.
Now I'm okay with me having the Raptors have personality. That's fine. But you really followed that up with one of the most stupid slapstick cartoon crap. She's taking her time to do flips on the pole to have her kick the Raptor out of the window. I'm like, look, yeah, he literally watching ooh, kick.
The Raptor's like, you should have a gold medal.
Yeah, you have a gold medal. Hey, it's really just stupid kiddie stuff like that. Where that's what I'm like, doesn't feel like the same tone as the first movie.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to make this movie darker, which I feel like that's what they were trying to do, if you're trying to have this movie be darker, then be darker. But don't have stupid kiddie stuff like this that clashes with the tone you're trying to establish. Because the first movie was just the Escape from the Park movie, and this one was trying to be more of a animal hunt film, I guess. Which it was fine. You want to have different tones, sure. We didn't even get to the San Francisco scenes. So somehow they were able to capture a T-Rex on a ship. And of course the T-Rex breaks out in the ship and causes mayhem on the ship. And then I remember some dude saw something banging and trying to break out of the ship. They didn't know what it was. It's like, what is that? I should open it and see. Click the red button, and the T-Rex is roaming free in San Francisco.
That's the most stereotypical horror movie type thing, Yeah. What happened? Investigate.
It's like, ooh, what does that do?
Yeah.
What is this movie? I mean, yeah, I wanted to see the dinosaurs roam around the city, but this is the most ridiculous, forced, contrived way you can do it. And then when it was in San Francisco, it wasn't even that thrilling. I mean, yeah, the T-Rex crashes the bus. That was.
I barely remember like any of this. I'm so sorry.
And then
Just gonna sit and listen.
right,
from now
the T-Rex is in the backyard of someone's house, and the kid sees it and by the pool, and eats the dog.
Yeah. That must be why I don't like this movie. It's because a dog dies.
But what about Boomer? Boomer will not live. Sorry, it's a mother effing T-Rex. No one lives. But yeah, that was just. In theory, that could have been a nice scene, but I couldn't appreciate it because I was just, at that point, I was like, this movie's so dumb. Can it just end? Why is this movie 2 hours, 17 minutes long? This could have been an hour and a half. You were literally wasting our time. Like, I just wanted it to be over at that point. I even forgot how they got the T-Rex down, whatever. I don't remember. It's not even relevant. It was probably something stupid and pointless anyway. But yeah, I just did not care.
Maybe it just got too personal with Ian's family. You think?
Maybe.
Too many family stories?
Too much
I don't know.
family stuff. Yeah.
Because what we were saying in the first one, it was like, it was briefly touched that Grant was dating Ellie, but it wasn't like something that dictated where the movie went. You know, it was something that was like on a side, like, oh, just so you know, they're dating, but
Right.
like.
But this is driving the plot. This is the reason why they're back on the island, to rescue someone you're not even with anymore. It's like it was their decision to go on this dangerous island. So at that point, you should not be held responsible for what happens next.
Which is what Jurassic Park 3 basically is too. So it's like everybody goes on to Isla Sorna just to save a family member. I guess that's like the whole point of Sorna. To save
We'll
a
get to
family
that
member.
next. But
I liked that a lot better. I like that execution a lot better. But
to give some fragrance of a positive in this movie, practical effects, I guess, were still good, and there was some nice transitions with the CGI, but even then, it wasn't as polished as it was in the first movie, which is baffling because this came out 3 years after the first film. So I'm like,
it's too much like Godzilla, released in San Francisco.
it wasn't Godzilla enough because I forgot what happened. So, but yeah, I feel like that was a natural progression because what else are you gonna do? You're gonna have you terrorize the island so much you can only do that for so long. So if you're gonna do it, make it interesting and make it make sense. But they didn't either. So what?
But others will agree. Like, it's so weird how like there are people who say that like Jurassic Park was good, but the Lost World was.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, and then they're like Jurassic Park 3 was nothing. It was terrible. Like, I know some people who say that the Lost World is the best one in the whole franchise. So I think it's like it's double-sided. Like, would you rather be on the park, or would you rather be like in San Francisco, basically?
Right. So there's probably people that have a preference, you know, because some people probably wasn't too interested in like the scenario in the first film, and they just wanted to see them terrorize the city or whatever.
Yeah.
Treat it more like a monster flick, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I can respect that, you know, it's acquired taste.
But it's not the same. They don't feel like dinosaurs as much.
No, they don't feel like dinosaurs. They feel like theme park monsters. That's what they feel like, and that's what they continue to do from this point forward in the franchise. So
we will talk about that.
We'll definitely talk about that. But we wouldn't be talking about it so much if the first film actually treated them like animals and actually had smart, you know, plot points happening. But this one, it just threw it away and just treated it like another basic adventure film. So I don't have that much to say about it now. This movie is a major disappointment. Such a step down from the first film. I expected so much more, and Spielberg came back to do this, so there shouldn't be an excuse. And also I heard this was based off of a book, and they didn't follow the book at all. So I'm like, and I heard it was better also, so I don't understand. But
Yeah.
overall, I can't.
Well,
I don't want to watch this movie again.
Yeah.
Or if I do, it's like, okay, if it's on, we'll see how I feel about it. But no, I give The Lost World Jurassic Park a C. And I'm being nice.
speaking of like the book and everything, like I'll probably say a C, but it's probably because like speaking of the book, my brother I think was the sibling who like read all the books and he didn't like The Lost World. So even if you're like a book reader, I'm pretty sure that you won't like The Lost World all that much. So like with that, yeah, I'd probably say like a C. Just because I don't know like who it impresses other than Godzilla fans who just want to see a different version of that, you know?
Now, I'm a big Godzilla fan, and I didn't care for this. So, I don't know
Gotcha.
what it's trying to please. But, yeah, that's our thoughts about Lost World. I know there's huge fans of this movie. So, leave how you guys feel about the movie in the comments.
They're probably gonna say like Julianne Moore, like.
Why are you trashing on
Why are you
Julianne
trashing
Moore?
Julianne
She
Moore?
was so good. Lost World is such a great film.
It's
That's
just
great.
when you had Ellie and then you replace her with Julianne Moore, it's like, man, you know, I miss Ellie, I miss Grant.
I miss Ellie
yeah.
and I miss Grant. And thank God they come in the next movie, but I wish it was under
Yeah.
better circumstances. So the next movie we'll be talking about is Jurassic Park 3. So if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit that bell to be updated on future videos we'll be doing. Also subscribe to Shannon Geoffrey's channel. She does funny skits and everything. It's very, very good stuff.
Thanks.
So yeah, thank you as always for watching. We'll see you in the Jurassic Park 3 review. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What? What? What?
Dinosaur.